Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera and welcome to our panel discussion today. My name is Badrul Hisham Hilal. I'm the Trade Commissioner of MATRADE office here in Dubai. And it is my pleasure to be your moderator and host for today's session. Meet the expert navigating the UAE's market. On behalf of MATRADE Dubai, thank you for joining us. Basically, we are gathered here today with one main objective, that is to empower you, our Malaysian companies, our Malaysian exporters, with the knowledge, insights, and the real world experience needed to successfully penetrate the UAE market. So, inshallah, for the next 1 hour, we will hear from our three incredible experts who represent different yet equally critical parts of your export journey, from market information, market intelligence, to import distribution. And of course, it will not be complete if, let's say, we do not present you with a first-hand success story. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's join me in welcoming our distinguished panelists. First, we have Ms. Aisha, our marketing officer in MATRADE Dubai. For information, Ms. Aisha is actually our frontliners who provides crucial market intelligence, connecting Malaysian businesses with UAE companies, and of course, guiding our Malaysian exporters through the local landscape. All right, Ms. Aisha, welcome. And then next we have Mr. Gagan Kumar from Rasilari, who is our close friend, right? I just met him a couple of days ago. Mr. Gagan and his company is a key player in the UAE's import and distribution network. Inshallah, he will also be providing us with invaluable perspective of local distributor, what basically they look into a partner from Malaysia. And last but not least, we of course we are honored to have Miss Yasmin from Doluvo, Sdn Berhad. So I must say that Miss Yasmin is a shining example of Malaysian SMEs. So I got to meet her in early 2017 in Cologne, Germany, and was very pleased with her export journey. And now, right, she has successfully navigated the UAE market, and he's here to share some of the her success story with all of our Malaysian audience. So for this session, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to set a few parameters. So first, we'll hear from our panelists one by one, okay? And then we will invite them to share their final thoughts and key messages. So my hope is that the information that we'll discuss will give our Malaysian companies a solid foundation and hope to inspire our Malaysian companies in your export journey to the UAE. All right, sounds good? So to begin, as mentioned, we have a fantastic mix of expertise, all right? So I would like to invite each of our panelists to briefly share a little bit of themselves and the work that they do. Let's start with Ms. Aisha. Please, Ms. Aisha.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Badrul Hisham, firstly, for the kind introduction and for having me here for today's session. I'm Aisha Hanif, and I'm serving as a marketing officer at MATRADE Dubai. My journey with MATRADE has been for around 2 years now, and I have been serving Malaysian companies as well as local companies in terms of binding them towards each other's and providing them insights about the market and trying to give them avenues and opportunities to have businesses in future. And also, I'm pleased to be a part of this webinar today, and I look forward to present my insights and share them about whatever I know about the UAE market. And I hope that this is going to be very fruitful and beneficial for our Malaysian companies, and they are going to be learning a lot about the opportunities that the UAE market presents.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Aisha. Next, we have Mr. Gagan from Rasilari. So Mr. Gagan brings invaluable perspective of a local distributor importer who works with probably thousands of SKUs products every day. Mr. Gagan, please.
Hi, my name is Gagan, and I'm representing Rustilari. Rustilari as an organization has been in existence in 1920, so more than 100 years of experience. And I have been in UAE for almost 30 years. So, catching up. Thank you, Mr. Badru, and to MATRADE to giving us this opportunity to share our experience with you all.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gagan, for the introduction. And finally, we have Ms. Yasmin from FEDEX Malaysia. Ms. Yasmin, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yasmin. I'm the founder of FEDEX Malaya. Our company is Duluvu Sdn Bhd. We are an own brand manufacturer of freezer pops, ambient freezer pops. We are a 100% women-owned company that started in 2016. So as opposed to Rustilari, we're still in its infancy. So fast forward to 2025, we are currently actively exporting to more than 30 countries. I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to MATRADE Dubai, Mr. Badro, Mr. Shafiq, and Ms. Aisha for giving us this platform to share our thoughts.
Right. Thank you, everyone, for the introductions. So now let's get into the core of our discussion. So let's focus to Ms. Aisha. All right. So in Ms. Aisha, in this part, we'll focus more on market opportunities available here in UAE, the market intelligence or market support that we have been providing. Yeah. So for any successful market entry, the journey begins with research, with the correct information that our companies need to understand. So maybe you could share with us, you could introduce the United Arab Emirates to our audience and its role as a trade hub to the region. Please, Ms. Asha.
Thank you. So basically, United Arab Emirates is a federation of 7 emirates, namely Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Ras Al Khaimah, Ajman, Fujairah, and Al Quwain. And it is located in the Arabian Peninsula. Abu Dhabi serves as the capital of the UAE and is the largest emirate by land. And Dubai is the main hub of trade and business. When we say UAE as a trade hub, definitely over the years we have seen UAE booming, especially when it comes to trade. What we have focused or what we have observed are certain reasons, behind this boom of tourism, trade, and all these things. So, first thing is its strategic location. The location that UAE has, it shares land borders with Saudi Arabia and Oman, and also it just not serves as an import market, but also as a re-export market to other countries and other regions surrounding it. And also the world-class infrastructure and modern infrastructure of the UAE is definitely helping attract more investments and more businesses. And apart from that, the government initiatives like UAE Vision 2031 and all these are also pushing more companies because they're business happy and business friendly policies that are coming on board, making more foreign companies come here and settle in the UAE, making UAE a trade hub for all the businesses around.
All right. What about the market demographics in UAE? Can you share a little bit in terms of the populations here?
Sure. So when we talk about market demographics, currently, if we look at the population of UAE, it is around 11 million, somewhere around 11 million. And out of which roughly 88 to 90% are expatriates from over 200 different nationalities. When we go further into it, out of these, nearly 35% are Indians, followed by Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, Filipinos, and many more, basically making UAE a melting pot for different cultures and nationalities. And the locals that are present here are usually referred to as Emiratis, are just 10 to 12% of the whole population. So this is a very different or a very interesting point for Malaysian companies, that instead of just focusing on the locals, they could also try to focus more on different nationalities, or maybe South Asian tastes or Filipino tastes, in order to cater to a greater market chunk. And when we talk about the median age of the population, so it is somewhere around 33, making the population more young and tech savvy. And they are, due to which, of course, they are more open and more receptive to innovation and e-commerce and premium products like so. And also, when we talk about the culture here, there is a huge shift of women working in the UAE now. So, more and more demand and need of convenience products are also increasing due to this factor.
Right. That's a very good explanation in terms of the demographics. So, out of 11 million, it's actually a combination of various nationalities. Yeah, here in Dubai. So, and I think many would actually understand that Dubai or UAE attracts a lot of tourism. Yeah. So, besides tourism, yeah. So, which other sectors that currently driving the economic growth in the UAE? And maybe Ms. Aisha can share a bit what will be the outlook for the next few years. Yeah.
Okay, so traditionally, UAE and other Gulf countries are always known for their oil and gas sector, and so UAE has also been, for UAE also, the major contributor to their economy has always been oil and gas sector. But now the government has taken a lot of initiatives, and they are actively trying to reduce their dependence on oil. So there are a few non-oil sectors that are also gaining more traction. That includes tourism, trade, real estate, and also fintech. And in the future, near future, we see that non-oil GDP is growing very rapidly and is expected to increase, with major opportunities that lie in green energy, advanced manufacturing, and also digital economy.
Right. Do you have any trade figures that you can share with our audience and see how strong is our Malaysia's trade with UAE?
Sure. So, statistically speaking, the trade between Malaysia and UAE is growing. It has been growing for quite some time. And in 2024, there was a 6.8% increase in the trade between Malaysia and UAE. The exports increased by around 2.3%, whereas the imports also increased by around 9.4%. Although there was a trade deficit that Malaysia faced because of high imports of petroleum products. But again, if we look at the overall situation, it was positive, because due to strong export performance of Malaysian products in the fields of jewelry, palm oil, agricultural products, um, processed foods, and E&E products as well. Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, that's very good to hear that we have a positive export to UAE. Were there any trade agreements that you can share? Like Malaysia, we know that we have this FTAs, free trade agreements. We have ASEAN FTA, and since Malaysia is part of ASEAN member country, so wherever FTAs that ASEAN has signed, we are also part of member of it. So, what about Malaysia and UAE? Do we have any FTAs like agreement that we have here?
Yes, we do have a good news. So there has been a comprehensive economic partnership agreement (CEPA) signed between Malaysia and the UAE earlier this year on January 14th, 2025. And just for the information, that Malaysia UAE CEPA is the first free trade agreement that has been signed between Malaysia and a West Asian country. The SIPA currently is in the process of ratification, and it will be implemented very soon, hopefully by the fourth quarter of this year.
So I think that will be exciting news for our Malaysian exporters. So Based on my experience, I can see that whenever we have FTA, it create a lot of market access to our Malaysian exporters to enter the FTA partner country. Maybe Aisha can share what will be the benefits of this SIPA that our obviously that Malaysian companies would tend to benefit.
Okay, sure. So the benefits that the Malaysian companies, exporters are going to enjoy after SIPA being implemented are includes firstly low tariff rates. Definitely, it's going to impact their costings. Faster custom clearance, it's going to give them ease into entering the market. Also, easy market access and more opportunities. And also, there will be more investment opportunities for both sides of UAE as well as Malaysian exporters. And also, there is one indication that this Malaysia UAE SEPA agreement is expected to boost the bilateral trade of between both the countries by at least 60% in 5 years. So it's definitely a good news for Malaysian exporters and Malaysia itself.
All right. So obviously, there's a lot of opportunities here in this market. So maybe you could share what are the platforms on trade fairs or exhibitions or networking events that Ms. Aisha could recommend for our Malaysian companies to consider participating in order to enter in this market.
Of course, networking for any business any day is very, very important. And I think trade fairs are the best way to understand the market, network, and present your product all in one go. So, when it comes to major trade fairs in the UAE, I would like to highlight a few that are very that I feel could benefit the Malaysian exporters to a great extent. So, in the food and beverage category, I think Gulf Food is one of the most biggest and largest in magnitude exhibition, and also it is, I think, the biggest in this region. Gulf Food is not only focused about food and beverages, but it is quite vast. It goes through fats and oils and other things, except confectionery. And with MATRADE has been participating in Gulf Food for over 20 years now. So definitely it is a must go. Secondly, ISM Middle East. That is also a very good platform, and it is solely focused on confectionery and snacks. So the Malaysian exporters from this niche can definitely make the most of this show. And another very interesting trade fair that organic and halal food and manufacturers, food and beverage manufacturers can actually, utilize is Middle East Organic and Natural Expo. Just for information, that MATRADE very actively participated in this Middle East Organic and Natural Show last year by bringing MIHAS to Dubai, and along with 200 Malaysian companies, which was quite a huge success. So all these trade fairs definitely provide a great platform for Malaysian companies to network, to provide, to present their products in front of the whole world, actually, not just UAE, since the magnitude is quite large. And also, I would like to mention here that we are still open for registrations for these trade fairs. Middle East Organic and National Show happening in November, whereas Gulf Food happening in January next year. So if any company is interested in registering, they may contact our colleagues in our HQ for further information.
All right. I thought I missed you out a little bit just now. But okay, so you mentioned about halal, you mentioned about some of the exhibitions that we have been organizing here. So perhaps you would like to share the outlook of the UAE's halal F&B market, and which are the expected growth areas that has the greatest potential.
So, Mr. Badrul, when we talk about halal food and beverage market in the UAE, it's currently booming, and the UAE's halal food and beverage sector is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of around 6 to 8% in coming 5 years. So definitely, it gives a great opportunity for Malaysian exporters that are from that particular niche. Secondly, this growth is due to several factors that I would like to highlight here. That includes rising tourism in the UAE, and also more expats coming here for jobs and other purposes. And consumer awareness is also one of the factors that is really helping boom this industry, because more people are now switching to organic and natural products. And also, there's a huge demand that is being created for that. And the key growth areas and that I feel have greater potential in this halal food and beverage market include halal meat and poultry, plant-based food and beverages, ready to eat or convenience food, since people are more busy and they prefer a healthy lifestyle, a balance of both the things, organic and healthy halal foods, and beverages. Yeah.
All right. Great. So you presented the opportunities, the outlook. So perhaps a bit on challenges. Yeah. So maybe you can try to touch a little bit on challenges of halal and for the F&B companies when they want to enter to the UAE market, and ways of how to overcome those challenges. Yeah. So please, Aisha.
Um, Sure. So definitely, when these companies from backgrounds of halal or different food and beverage companies, actually, when they come into the UAE, they face certain challenges. Few of them include facing strict regulatory compliance from the UAE government, intense competition since the market is quite saturated and it's quite difficult for new players to come inside and make room for their own selves. And most importantly, understanding the diverse consumer preferences in the UAE, because UAE is a heterogeneous market with multicultural population living here, and many companies fail to understand that and somehow lose the market here. Now, to overcome these challenges, I believe the companies should firstly invest in thorough market research, because that is the first step whenever you are entering a new market. Once they understand the market, it'll be easier for them to cater to the demands. Secondly, a very important point, that they can liaise and partner with a local distributor or agent. In this way, it'll be easier for them to navigate the challenges of the market, and because the local partner is going to be very well versed with all the rules and regulations of the UAE market. And finally, I think understanding the target audience is also very important. Once they understand which audience or which market they are actually looking to target, it will be easier for them to tailor or customize their products according to the localized tastes. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you, Miss Aisha. So I have another like 20 sets of questions to ask Miss Aisha, but let's focus for now to Mr. Gagan. Okay? So Mr. Gagan, once again, thank you for being with us. So I hope in this segment we will focus more on the importers and distributors perspective. So as I understand that finding the right Malaysian company or right partner is often the biggest challenges. Yeah. Our Malaysian audience wants to know what it takes to get notified, to get noticed, build a partnership, and succeed from a local import and distributors point of view. So maybe my first question to Mr. Gagan would be, for the benefit of our Malaysian companies, what would be the general import requirements in the UAE? Please, Mr. Gagan.
Thank you. See, the general requirement, first of the documentation, of course, where It's a very common requirement all over the world, like the commercial invoice, packing list, health certificate, country of origin, bill of lading. These are the basic requirements that are there. But you come back to the food. On the food, you have to be very careful about the labeling. The labeling should have Arabic. It should have the production expiry dates. And whoever is wanting to come down to UAE should do their back study first and look at all the products which are banned or not banned, because they have to specify all the ingredients on their labels, the nutrition value. And in that, not only do they have to mention the ingredients they are using, but also their E numbers. And in some of the products or some of the ingredients used, also the source of where the ingredients are coming from. Like, for example, if you say emulsifier, you have to specify, is it plant-based or animal-based? And then again, going back to the regulations, like hydrogenated oil is an incomplete statement. When they mention hydrogenated oil, it's incomplete. They have to mention if it is partial or fully hydrogenated, because partially hydrogenated is a banned item. And fully hydrogenated is allowed up to a certain extent. So there are so many such things that they need to take care and to find out what are the rules and regulations that are being used in UAE and follow the same rules and regulations on their labeling. Once they have done that, then it is smooth sailing. They can easily get into UAE without any hassles.
So basically, all this information they will be able to get either from the Dubai municipality, or they have to work closely with the importer. I'm sure the importer established like you will be able to have all this information, and you could advise our companies accordingly. I mean, and the Malaysian companies.
Ideally, the importer should know, because his job is to, because he's importing all these items. And if the importer doesn't know, then he's not a good importer. But yes, there are websites available in Dubai municipality, and also know that Dubai municipality, they're using a Gulf standard called the GSO. So if there is any product, you need to know what the standards are. You can easily go up to GSO and look for that standard. And then they will tell you what are the requirements, or what you can do or what you cannot do.
Right. So maybe our Malaysian companies would like to hear the portfolio of Malaysian products that's currently that you have. Yeah, so maybe you can share a bit the brand name, so maybe for them to find out.
Well, we're working right now with Munchies, Meow Meow, Mr. Potato, Mami, Sri Nona,
Wow. Okay,
and
that's good.
B
That's a lot.
plus Q, Chia Shing. So these are the main guys. We're also working with smaller ones like Jairam and something else. But these are the main guys whom we are working with. Of
Yeah,
course,
there's
Munchies
quite a
and
lot
Meow
of.
Meow, more than 25, 30 years.
So mention, I mean, like Munchies, like confectionery. So which segment of confectionery is most in demand or more frequently imported into the UAE?
See, the confectionery in demand is depending on the consumer, because you have to understand that we have three types of consumer here. One is the labor. Actually, 70% of our population is labor. And they are looking for chips and snacks and cakes. They are more pocket friendly. Then you have the other 30%, where you have the families, and they would go for gummies and biscuits and all these other snacks that are possibly available. And again, you look at the season. Like when you're going down to summers, it's mostly beverages that work more than other items, because everybody wants to cool down.
All right. So you mentioned several brand names just now, several products that you already have in your store that you'll be importing, working with our Malaysian companies. And Mr. Gagan, for our Malaysian companies information, is one of our premium buyer that will be going to Malaysia during our INSP. So maybe in your you can share with us in your next sourcing trip to Malaysia, what product categories or specification that you are actively looking for now? Yeah?
Well, we are looking for a number of things. One is, of course, beverages in OEM, personal brand. Then we are looking for some different snacks which are not commonly available, because everybody is having the same type of snacks. If you see different brands coming from different countries, they all have the same type of snacks, same type of items. We are looking for something that is different, that is unique, that calls out like Malaysia. Okay, so something different there. And then, of course, we are also looking at something other than confectionery, that we're looking at palm oil and such items, because we are getting palm oil, but it's coming through a third party. We would prefer directly to work with the Malaysian companies and not through the third parties.
All right, sure, Manchu, we definitely will be able to help that. So, Mr. Gaga, maybe you can share also about the emerging trends or preference among the local consumers that are impacting the sourcing of products. Yeah? So, for example, like now they want vegan products. They wanted to have more sugar-free, health-conscious kind of products. Yeah? So, any feedback on that?
Well, there is a market for that, for vegan products, sugar-free products, but it's a limited market still, because people are still in the process of getting aware of all these things. And as and when they get aware, they move towards products. But the problem for now is that organic products and no sugar and these health products are not very pocket friendly. I mean, they end up being a little bit more on the expensive side. So a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
who are in dire straits or have a crunch of spending a lot of money, they would refrain from spending it on these sort of products. Maybe once or twice, okay, but not all the time. So somewhere, if we do come
There's
up
a
with more
very
sugar and health products,
yeah.
maybe it has to be, as I
So
said maybe before, pocket friendly.
mm, I understand it's a quite price sensitive market, yeah. So our it's a good product, but our Malaysian companies have to be able to control the cost so that when the product cost when they land it here in UAE will not be so expensive, yeah? So expensive. Yeah? So, and another thing, the message that I got from you is that it has to be innovative products that you are looking for, not something that easily able to find here in the market. So, perhaps, Mr. Gagan, from Lasri Lari's perspective, what are your key criteria when selecting a new supplier or manufacturer, not only from Malaysia or from any other country?
See, there are so many times like we look at a supplier and we look at where we want to go with that supplier. Like, as I
Mm.
mentioned before, that there are three types of customers in UAE: the laborers, the families, and re-exports. Dubai is sort of a gateway to Africa and the West. So whatever products you come and display in Dubai market becomes recognized by the other people from other places who come down to visit here. And this becomes as a gateway for these products to other countries. Like there's so many products that Africa wants, but they are not aware of the product being available. So we become a medium of showing it to them that, okay, see, these sort of products are available. Are you interested? The same way, as I said, there are snacks where we look at the 70% of the labor category and we see the supplier has something like that, and we can cater to those sort of consumers. So we go for that also. And then, of course, the 30%. We're always there. The supermarkets, whatever the supermarkets require. Because we cater to all three segments. We don't just cater to one side and forget the other. Because all three need some sort of confectionery. All three need to have that, splurge of something crackling, something sour, something sweet. The kids, the parents. So we try to satisfy all of them.
See, there's a lot of check boxes to actually see whether you actually meet those criteria.
Because
and maybe
sometimes we have these suppliers who come up with such things that we may have not thought of, but after looking at the product, we feel, oh yes, this will fit into this market. So we cannot go with a closed mind, saying that, okay, we're only going to look at these products. No, we look at all. And then we see, even if we are not going for certain products, but it suits the market, why not?
All right. So maybe my next question would be, what would be your common challenges that you face when sourcing from overseas suppliers? Maybe we can actually learn that so that we could avoid from putting up the problems, the trouble to you. Yeah.
Well, I think the first problem would be the lead time.
Lead time. Yeah.
Yeah. That is the first problem. And because from the time we order till the time we receive the products, there's normally a lead time of 3 months, and you can't do anything about that.
So you want to be fast.
Yeah, that is our challenge. And if the product does very good, for us to react, it takes 3 months. And that is too long sometimes, Then we need uniformity. Because the product that is supplied, it should be the same product being supplied every time. No lack in the quality, maintain the quality, maintain the packing. And this is the second part of it, that uniformity should be there. Then the stability. The people should be able to supply regularly. It should not be that I have taken one shipment of certain items and if I go back to them and say that, oh no, we had to change the design and this thing happened this way and that thing happened that way. No, it doesn't work for us because we are here spending money listing that item in the market and trying to push that item and make it popular amongst the consumer. And then if you change it, all our hard work is gone to, is wasted.
Yeah,
so we
totally
need that stability to be there.
The capital, the resources, the money they spend in order to introduce the product into the market. So if let's say there's changes,
definitely.
so even go to wasted. So perhaps as one more follow-up question is that what kind of after-sales support that do you expect from our Malaysian exporters? What do you see that would help them to push the product further into the market?
Well, I don't know how well they can do this, but social media is the
your
first
expectation, your wish list maybe.
Yeah, but social media is the first one. They have to be on social media. They have to make their self visible. I'll give you a simple example. There is this drink called Prime. Okay, Prime. The only reason why it's popular is because of social media. Not because that Prime is such an excellent drink. It's because of the social media. Even if it is an excellent drink, they needed some form of communication to tell the people that it is excellent. And in that way, social media has worked in a very, 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 very great way of pushing these products. So that is another thing that we need from the suppliers, that they need to be active on social media, need to be available and make people aware in every region. Even if they're not going to that region, be present. Because you're getting publicity. You're spreading the name of the product. You're increasing the awareness of the product. Then those country people will start asking for these products. And automatically you start getting sales. So yes, my first thing is, of course, social media. And then second, like, we are traders, okay? We are not manufacturers. So we put in a lot of money for registering products and maintaining the products on the shelf and paying rents. If we could get some sort of support from the supplier to do this also, it works. Because whatever we do in the market will help us sell it. And then if it helps us sell it, then we order more. So it's a cycle, that way.
Is each other have to support each other, yeah.
Exactly.
It cannot be one way. It has to be two ways. Yeah, two ways. Because I think both Malaysian companies and Dassilari in the long run. So we want to succeed in the market. Collaboration is the way. Yeah?
And because we don't want one-time products. We want the product to be there for a lifetime. Okay, so that when my kids grow older, they'd say, "Oh, this is what I grew up on. This is the candy I used to have when I was small. This is the Pops Malay I used to have when I was small."
Wow. Okay, mention Pops Malay. Yeah. So I mean, there are some brands that you mentioned earlier. You've been working for over 20 years. So see how much you have actually invested, and definitely the Malaysian companies also has actually invested in this relationship. Yeah. So maybe one last question before we move to Yasmin. From your experience, what should Malaysian exporters focus on to succeed in the UAE market in the long run? Your advice, please.
Well, I feel there are a lot of Malaysian products which can come down to this part of the world. They just have to upgrade themselves to an international level so that they can distribute on an international level. Okay. And when they want to introduce a product in the market, they should not take a lot of time to introduce these products. Because if they do, somebody else will take that space. And this is a big challenge we're having, international standard. And to be able to supply to us and we put it in the market is taking so long that somebody else has already copied them and come to the market before they could come. So they have to be careful about this too. We cannot take too long to make R&D or make innovations. Back to you, Mr. Pradhu.
All right. So, Mr. Gagan, thank you very much for sharing such a direct, from the heart and practical advice. So definitely your insights on what importer distributor truly needs, a great guide for our Malaysian companies. And so let's change our focus to Miss Yasmin. So Miss Yasmin, in our as the final panelist. So in this segment, we would like to hear about your first-hand experience and lesson learned. So I believe our Malaysian companies, Malaysian audience who are here today would like to understand your journey from a small business to successfully penetrated the UAE market. And perhaps my first question to you, well, let's start from the beginning. So how did you first decide that the UAE was the right market for Doluvo and your product, Pops Malaya? Please.
Thank you, Mr. Badrul. First of all, I have to say that I was blown away by Mr. Gagan's sharing. I wish somebody would have told me those things 10 years ago when I started. It would have made the journey so much easier. So for any of the exporters watching, I hope that you had your pen and paper to jot down all the priceless insights that he just shared. So thank you, Mr. Badro, for the question. And just now you asked why we chose UAE, why we chose to access the UAE market. So for our product, we are a frozen treat. So the obvious reason would be the climate. So in UAE, summers are long, so it lasts between 8 to 9 months, if I'm not mistaken. And even for the cooler months, it's just like London in summer. So what this means is that sales is steady. There is no seasonal downtime as opposed to Europe, which has shorter summers. And of course, the second thing that made UAE an irresistible market for us, as what Ms. Aisha mentioned, is a gateway. And I believe Mr. Gagan mentioned as well, is a gateway to Africa. And for us, it was a gateway into other parts of GCC, Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, UAE, and Oman. So we entered via a retailer first, Lulu Hypermarket, first in UAE, which was a launchpad for us before we expanded to other Lulu outlets throughout the GCC. So those are the two elements that made UAE an obvious option for us, an obvious opportunity.
Basically, you make the right strategy, using Dubai as a springboard to other GCC countries. So there's a lot of opportunities again to export to the other region. So basically, Mr. Rasilari, Mr. Gagan from Rasilari also is actually having some presence in Oman, also in Iran. Yeah? So he's also been exporting not only to UAE but also to other countries as well. So my next question is, what was the single hardest challenge you faced when you were starting, and how did you overcome it?
I think this applies not only in UAE, but across the world. Real estate space in the supermarkets is very pricey. And in order for us to wedge our way in, somebody else has to be removed from that shelf. So that's the challenge. How do we pit ourselves against brands that are more established, these legacy brands that has been around for many, many years? So what we did was we tried to identify a gap in the market. So for us, our product, it's an ice cream, it's a sorbet. But what's different is that it can be shipped and stored at frozen temperature, at ambient temperature. So what this means for our importers and the retailers is that they get to mitigate the high cost of frozen logistics. So I guess that was what help us to earn a spot in the retailers.
I see. Right. So do you change your product or business model when entering to UAE? Because I understand UAE is not your the only market destination that you export. You have many other countries. So were there any changes made to the product? Yeah, maybe because of the requirement of sugar, so you had to reduce the sugar, the recipe in order to export to UAE.
In our case, we did not have to reformulate the product in terms of, we kept our existing formulation. But one of the changes that we made, because in UAE, our product is considered a new category. Freeze at home ice cream, people are not very familiar with the concept. So there is a little bit of education involved to explain to the consumers that this product, you have to take it back, pop it in the freezer for a couple of hours. You can't just tear the sachet and drink it right out of the box, as opposed to US and Europe, where they are more familiar with this sort of packaging. So what we did was we made it very obvious on the packaging, that you are meant to freeze and enjoy. You put it in large fonts. And secondly, we also place emphasis on the visuals. We showed that the product, it's a frozen product. So when we mentioned that the product is called ice bars or sorbet bars in the market, when people pass through the ambient aisles, it makes them, take a second look. Hey, ice, why is an ice product on the ambient shelf? So that is the first in terms of the product. Secondly, which I feel is more specific to the GCC market, especially during summer, temperatures can be a little bit extreme. So when our product sits in the container, because we ship in a dry container, not a reefer, not a cold container. So temperatures in the freezers can go up to 50 to 60 degrees. So we need to make sure that the quality of the product is not compromised. As Mr. Gagan rightly mentioned, consistency is very important. Customer expect a mango ice bar to taste exactly the same in January as it tasted in December, right? So we invested in a high barrier packaging to ensure the integrity of the product. So that's one of the things that we did. And of course, given all the innovation, we also have to be mindful of the cost because not just Mr. Gagan, but I think all the distributors throughout the world, they invest a lot of money in brand building. And so we as manufacturers really need to make them the best offer. And as Ms. Aisha said, with the FTA that's going to be implemented, I believe if it happens before Gulfood, probably the Gulfood Malaysian pavilion in Gulfood will be packed because our Malaysian SMEs would be able to offer more competitive products.
Yeah, definitely. We hope so. Yeah, for the agreement to be into force by this year. And so I think our pavilion in Gulfood next year will be swamp packed because our product, inshallah, will be very competitive with the preferential tariff. Yeah. So my next question is that how did you first build your brand awareness and find your first customer in a new country? Yeah.
Okay. I think the relationship between us, currently we have a distributor in UAE. The relationship with the distributor and also Lulu Hypermarket began at Gulfood, at the point of contact. So we did not immediately go launch into a sales pitch. People don't really want to know the features of the product. It comes much later. So we try to understand the pain point of the distributor. And we understood that frozen retail space was scarce at Lulu Hypermarket. So that puts us in a right position to present a product that could sit on a home shelf. And there is also more opportunities for consumers to stumble upon the product because, at the same time, we also got some opportunities to enter the frozen aisle space as well. So that's, and how we, Mr. Badro, you mentioned how we build awareness, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so we also work closely with our distributors because we can't just assume that what the distributors need to drive sales is shelf talkers, point of sales display. So we try to understand from the importer's perspective, what can we do to help drive sales? So in some markets, they would say, we want samples, which we will give them. Or they would say, we are launching an influencer campaign like we did in China. We did an influencer campaign with, I think, around 500 key opinion leaders. So it goes back to understanding, communicating with the importer on what would help to drive sales in the market.
That's very good. You're actually building a very strong, solid foundation relationships with your local partners by supporting them, by engaging with influencers in those markets. Yeah. So how do you expect to continue to stay relevant in a competitive market that changes so so quickly. Yeah. So when do you have to keep on innovating your products? I mean, having a new flavor, yeah, things like that.
I think complacency is the biggest killer of SMEs, and how we try to mitigate that is by putting 1 feet in research and development, R&D, and 1 feet in the market. So we try to actively understand the trends by going to trade shows, not only as exhibitors, because when we go as exhibitors, we don't have time to work the floor. So I go as visitors. I hang out at the supermarket aisle. Sometimes you can learn a lot by, spending 30 minutes in a supermarket, watching what people pick up, and most importantly, what they put back, more so than, reading a market report. But I think the most underestimated source of data would be the distributors, because the distributors are basically the market intel on the ground. They know exactly which SKU performs better, which packaging format resonates with the consumer, which promotion results in the best sales lift. So don't see your distributor as just a sales channel, but they are also our research arm on the ground.
Very good observation, piece of advice for Malaysian exporters. So my final question to Ms. Yasmin is that what is the most important lesson that Ms. Yasmin has learned about doing business in the UAE that you wouldn't have learned anywhere else? Anything peculiar that you like to share with our Malaysian audience?
As Ms. Aisha pointed out, it's UAE, it's multicultural, right? So I think there are dozens of nationalities, the South Asians, a bit of Europeans, I believe, and a handful of Emiratis, and the rest are from the Middle East. So I feel that it's a good test ground for us to understand how we could appeal to different cultures, different taste buds. Because like, for example, in Japan, they like the packaging to be simple. So whereas in UAE, the challenge is you need to appeal to these different nationalities, and at the same time, try not to isolate everyone. So that was the biggest lesson that we got in UAE. And of course, the speed. I do feel that in UAE, speed is everything. So from that, we learned that we need to really respond fast, give a speedy response to any inquiries that was given to us by our distributor and our retailer. And so fast action is right now, because of UAE, I feel the DNA of POPs Malaya. That's what we try to do.
All right. So thank you, Ms. Yasmin, for sharing your inspiring and I think a very candid journey with us. So all the things that you have shared is a powerful example of what is possible with determination and also the right strategy. Yeah? So, ladies and gentlemen, we have heard so much valuable information and so many powerful stories today. And before we close, I would like to invite each of our panelists to share one final thought, one key important messages that you would like to share with our Malaysian audience here today. Yeah. So, share with us the single most important piece of advice that you would like to have our audience to remember. So, Ms. Aisha, to start, please, Ms. Aisha.
Thank you so much, Mr. Badrul. So I think two things that I'd like to share here. Firstly, we get this question a lot from Malaysian companies asking us what sort of assistance MATRADE actually can provide them. So just to clarify and help them, for their future reference, that we help them by organizing, business matching sessions with companies and connect them to the right partners. We also provide them verification services to protect them from different scammers. As we all know, these sort of things happen in every market. And also we try to offer them comprehensive market insights and market alerts to keep them updated on the latest trends that are being practiced in this region, apart from assisting them with major trade fairs. And so if any Malaysian company want any sort of assistance from UAE, Oman, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, Iran, Iraq, or Pakistan, they are more than welcome to contact us, as all these countries come under our coverage. So yeah. And secondly, a very important part that in working with Malaysian companies so far, they have this perception of solely focusing on the Emiratis. But as I mentioned in the demographics, that Emiratis are just the 10%. So maybe they can try to focus and cater other South Asian tastes, maybe Indian, Pakistani, or Bangladeshis, or maybe more towards the Filipino side, and try to localize their product according to their taste bud and present it in the market. It's going to give them more chunk and more business. So yeah, I think that's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aisha. So, Mr. Gagan, any last word?
It was a pleasure being here with you all. And thank you, Aisha. You told me, you informed me about a lot of things, and it helps us always to know. Thank you, Ms. Yasmin and Mr. Badal. Thank you so much.
Sure.
If you all need any help or any assistance in the future for implementing anything in UAE, Oman, please, we're always here. And we will help you in any way we can.
Thank you very much for the offer, Mr. Gagan. All right, Ms. Yasmin, any final remarks?
A quick one to all my SME brand builders. Do not ever think that export is only for the large legacy brand, for the ones with the big pockets. It's accessible to everyone. MATRADE is here to help. I started also as a tiny company, and I still am. We are a work in progress. So engage with MATRADE, and inshallah you're going to go places.
All right, thank you, Ms. Yasmin. So we are nearing to the end of our session, and definitely the insights that we have gained today are truly invaluable. And for that, I would like to take this moment to extend my deepest gratitude to all of our incredible panelists. Yeah. So thank you once again for the insights and willingness to share your expertise with everyone who are here today. So for our Malaysian companies, Malaysian audience, I hope today's session has given you new ideas and a clear direction to UAE market, as what our panelists has pointed out, has many opportunities, and of course the first step is to be prepared. So remember, MATRADE Dubai, we are here as your partner, and we are here to support your export journey, and we are ready to help you in any way. So once again, thank you all for joining us, and I wish all the best in your business ventures. And I end today's session with wabillahi hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih. Thank you.